awfully good as the Astros get the win tonight in D.C. Welcome into our Space City Home Network studios and the postgame show alongside Brian Bogusevic, Michael Bourne, Kevin Eschenfelder back with you. Man, just all the way around, yeah, you would have liked to have gotten a little less drama in the ninth inning, but all in all, came up with timely hitting. You came up with outstanding pitching. It was so nice to see a starter go out and give you this. We forget how dominant Justin Verlander can be. We saw that tonight.
So many things that we've been waiting to see all season, so many things that haven't consistently showed up, we got tonight. We got hitting with runners in scoring position. You got a starter who was really efficient with his pitches and went deep into the game, and then the back end of the bullpen locking down a win and not just eating up innings.
And falling into line the way we expected this to fall into line all season long. You get a 6 out of your starter, you get an inning out of Abreu, then you go to Presley, then you go to Hader. It kind of fell into line tonight.
That's what you call a perfect win. You know, it started with Verlander on the mound. And I think, you know, even for the opposite side of the Nationals, you know, for them knowing that Verlander is coming on the mound, they have a young team, that presence just him on the mound, that puts a little fear in the opposing team that has a young team as they have, and they came through the night and they showed what the Astros are made of when they have a great starting pitcher on the mound.
Let's get to our Whataburger, what a play and what a start it was for Justin Verlander to his 2024 campaign as he goes 6 very strong innings in this one tonight.
Justin Verlander looked really good for a guy making his first start of this season. And one thing about Justin Verlander is he's not just out there trying to limit runs. He's trying to limit runs, and he's trying to go as deep into the game as possible. And knowing that he probably only had 80, 85 pitches, he was very aggressive in the strike zone. Fastball, curveball, changeup, a lot of strikes with those pitches, changing speeds with them in the strike zone, trying to induce some soft contact, looking for the swing and miss with the slider every once in a while, but just a guy really in control of the game.
I've seen a lot of fly ball outs as well. I mean, throwing the fastball at the top of the zone. I mean, getting him to swing. He's on the corner with the fastball as well. About 92 to 95 is where he said it. I was very impressed with his off-speed command with the changeup and the curveball. The curveball looked excellent tonight, and he had very good command of presence on the mound. That's a big thing for a pitcher when an opposing team is watching you and they can see how comfortable you are when you're throwing the rubber. That puts a little fear in them. They know you're comfortable out there. Plus, you know, you talk about a first ballot Hall of Fame as well. So.
And I think maybe what was, you guys can speak to this way better than I can, is that his sharpness, his command. It seems like that would be the thing you would kind of have to work into as the season goes on. I thought his command was fantastic. What he was throwing, where he was throwing it, while he wasn't perfect, he was very, very good with his command.
He was moving his pitches all throughout the zone. He was able to attack every part of the strike zone with those different pitches. So to be able to go out there and after 2 rehabilitation starts and then come into big league action for the first time, it was a pretty sharp effort.
And his curveball, I thought, was it looked like it was every bit in a midseason form being in his first start.
No doubt about it. It looked like the old school for Justin Verlander curveball. I think he went through his phase where his curveball wasn't as good, but that curveball that he had tonight, I call it the snapdragon. He really had that thing moving snapping at the top of the zone. And this is why you don't really pay attention to rehab starts. Like, he does what he does, his work, and he comes in, and when the lights are bright, like they are tonight on us, he knows how to shine.
Some pitchers have a curveball slider combination. Really, it's just a variation of the same pitch. The curveball is just a bigger version of the slider. Justin Verlander had 2 very distinct breaking balls today. It was a hard, sharp slider and a big up and down curveball. That's really difficult for hitters to deal with.
And he wasn't afraid to show that changeup from time to time as well.
He threw the changeup 12% of the time, I think. So that's a lot for Justin Verlander. So obviously something that he's very comfortable with coming in this early this season.
And they talk about changeup being a field pitch as much as any other pitch you throw. And the fact that he had that this early in the season, it's got to be a good sign.
Just from facing him a lot, you know, he throws the changeup, but he throws it off the fastball. One thing I noticed about his changeup, it was moving in 2 different directions to me. Usually his changeup moves down and away from hitters. Today it was moving down and just straight lateral to hitters, which was different. But it got it off the barrel to the end of the bat, and that's what the changeup is known for. You just want to miss the barrel, get some good swings, but they might hit off the end and get easy outs.
Almost 6 strong innings out of your starter. That means you turn it over to the bullpen, which was expected to be the strength of this team. Started with Bryan Abreu, and Bryan Abreu gave up a hit, but man, a very dominant inning in his 1-inning work.
The last couple of outings for Bryan Abreu, he's started to look better and better. His direction is much better. He's not spinning off towards first base dugout quite as much, and the shape of his breaking ball has really been affected by that. There's a lot more depth on that breaking ball now than there was when he was yanking it early on in the season.
I agree, and one thing that I love about what Bryan Abreu did tonight, and credit to the Astros is that Verlander got through the sixth. He got to start with a clean inning tonight. Sometimes he hadn't been able to start with a clean inning, coming in with a run on second or third, but I think he's so much more comfortable starting with a clean inning. And today his velocity was there. He got away with a couple pitches in the middle of the zone that he probably wanted to be on the corner, ended up hitting the balls bad, hit it off the end, but he still got away with it and got the 3 outs.
Can't having really good stuff like Brian Abreu, which we all know, can't that let you get away with things like that, though?
100%, Kevin. That's the reason he can do that. He has, like you said, a real good depth on his slider. When he has that good depth on his slider, he can get away with that. Because as a hitter, you're still kind of sitting in between because this stuff is so good, so you just can't sell out all the way.
All right, 7th inning, that was Abreu. 8th inning, they went to Ryan Pressly. We know all too well what happened. Last time out for Ryan Pressly, it was a tough outing against the Atlanta Braves. But a bounce-back outing today in the 8th inning as he came in to work this and got some help, too, defensively.
I don't understand why Ildemaro Vargas is running right here. The tying run is still standing on deck, so he goes and does the Astros a favor. But Ryan Pressly, leading up to this, really did a nice job varying the breaking balls, using the curveball down. And, you know, unless you are the tying run in a late situation,
Makes no sense.
Your run does not matter. So you go ahead and just anchor down there at first base.
And he's not a base stealer. Like, you have to be a
Not after today, he's not.
Well, he was one for 2 before this. So that tells me he doesn't have a lot of attempts. He's not a base stealer, and he's running. Granted, Pena had his block. That's why Dave Martinez got thrown out, because of the obstruction he wanted. But at the same time, why? It's no reason. It's a 3-run lead. But we'll take it all day. Thank you. Appreciate it. We appreciate that.
And this is coming from a guy who always wants to run. And you're telling him not to run. Yes, thank you.
And he also had gotten picked off second base. Said picked off second base.
With Justin Verlander staring at him.
Well, a runner in scoring position with C.J. Abrams at the plate.
Yeah.
And that was...
As we were talking about on camera, that's why Dave Martinez got thrown. He had to take it out on somebody.
Yes.
He really did. He was already mad at Vargas from the jump, so he just took it out on the umpires. But... we'll take it all day.
It's funny how this devolved, because we were supposed to be talking about how an outstanding job Ryan Pressly. You know, he came back again, a bounce back outing here tonight for him.
And he's done a nice job this season in trying to force feed more fastballs. He has a great slider, he has a great curveball, and every once in a while it'll be too much slider and curveball where it's not off speed from anything. So he's throwing the fastball effectively, and when he gets that curveball down to the bottom of the zone, it's really tough, both lefties and righties.
And I agree with you. And you know, this is a copycat league. So if a lot of people see you throwing breaking balls in the scouting report, when you're in the office or when you're in the classroom, they're going to go over that. They're gonna tell you what he likes to throw, his percentages, what he's like to throw. So you have to mix in that fastball to get them on the fastball. So the next team that's scouting you, they just can't sit on the off speed. So then now you got them sitting in between. Now the ball is in your court.
Well, then it was turned to Josh Hader in the 9th inning to come in and close it out. As we said, this time a chance to have it fall into line where Abreu pitches the 7th, Pressly the 8th. Josh Hader, the 9th. It did not go quite as planned, but getting the job done is getting the job done. Gives up the 3-base hit in a 3-run game to start the inning, as Washington had something cooking early on.
And C.J. Abrams can just flat out hit, because it's not easy to turn around a left-on-left fastball from Josh Hader. But even with the runner on third base to start the inning, a good job by Josh Hader continuing to attack hitters. Gets Jesse Winker to fly out here, but you're not concerned with the run here. That's just 1 out closer to the game being over.
And one thing I want to go back to the Astros offense in the 8th inning. They end up scratching another run across the board when it was 4-2 and made it 5-2 to give Josh Hader a little bit more breathing room in this 9th inning, which he ended up needing, because if you don't get that run, it's now 4-3 right now with a 1-run lead, and they would have had 2 men on, but they got the tying run to the plate, and Josh Hader was able to come through and shut the door. But that's why I call a team win. They didn't stop trying to score, and that's what you want to do. Even though you have a lockdown bullpen, keep trying to add on and add insurance on runs on. That's what we used to call it in the dugout. Add insurance on.
And you look at the pitches that Josh Hader made to get himself out of the inning. They were all working through the catcher, working through the strike zone. He creates such extreme angles with his delivery that when he gets too much side to side with his body, that's when he has big misses. He has a lot of room for error just on the 97 miles an hour, the pure stuff and the deception that he can work through the middle of the strike zone and still get himself swings and misses.
How did Verlander getting back that to you know, he looked really good. Efficient, threw a ton of strikes. You know, I think the big play of that game, it was his inside move in the 3rd inning. You know, they got 2 quick guys on base, and, you know, JV just awareness, instincts, just knowing that those guys like to run, put it a good inside move and kind of stop their momentum. That was a big play.
What about the offense and what they did in the second inning to just like the way they were handing the baton off to one another and also giving Verlander a lead?
Yeah, and an early lead. And, big at-bats, Jeremy, big at-bats. We were aggressive on the bases. We stole some bases, putting pressure on the defense. I thought it was a good overall team win from top to bottom.
Stuff-wise, what did you think of Verlander's stuff? What do you think was his best, and maybe a couple things he would need to work on?
You know what? Command and control was on. The shape of his slider was good. He threw a couple of good changeups. Fastball up to 94, and there's more there in the tank, but eventually will come. But for him, it's just, he can hit his spots, and he'll keep you off balance. He knows how to pitch, and, it was a very strong performance.
It's the first time you've been able to use the trio in a win and just have it locked down and win. How much is this kind of just the blueprint?
It feels good because that's kind of the way you draw it up. And those guys came in, maintained the lead, and Hader came in, pitched through trouble and shut the door, and we got the win.
John, what does it say about your training staff? What does it say about Justin that you guys took your time with this and you were careful with him this early in the season, to wait and get him full strength to get his debut going?
You know what? It's very important. Despite of how we started, it's a long journey, and we need him to lead us through this season. And we've been in this before. We just got to be patient, continue to fight, and once this rotation gets healthy and we start hitting our strides, it's going to be fun.
Was that an easy calculus for you after the sixth with him because of up and downs, and he was at 78 pitches?
Yeah, what, in this stage of his, the season for him, it was, he looks so good. You want to send him out there, but you got to be smart and, and wait because we're going to need him to give us, more pitches later on in the season.
What were you talking to us about late there?
Yeah, so, on that particular play, he charged Hader with a disengagement, and I told him that we have till 9 seconds when the catcher can go out there and put a first and third sign. So he went and checked the ruling with the crew chief, and they changed. It was not a mound visit.
Got it.
Last time out, had his 10-game hitting streak come to an end, but made up for some lost time tonight. 3 hits tonight. Mike, I'll start with you. Just what you saw from him tonight and good swings.
One thing I noticed right off is he uses the whole field. Like, he's not just trying to pull the ball. You see him go to right here, and the double before was in the left center gap. And I think with a hitter like that and with that timing mechanism that he's fixed in the offseason, I think you're going to see him flourish more and more. He's giving them production from the bottom of the lineup, and I think that's very good.
He's hitting 349, and he's on everything right now. You look at these 3 hits that he had. It was pull a 97-mile-an-hour fastball, hit an 83-mile-an-hour curveball the other way, and then shoot another fastball that's outside the zone to right field. So not really a whole lot that he can't do.
You think about it, too. 349 and then an 861 OPS for Jeremy Pena here 21 games into the season. Altuve had a hit and a stolen base, but the middle third of that order really did some damage and some. When you think about what Kyle Tucker, Yiner, Jeremy Pena, Chas McCormick, all multi-hit games, and this one included Mauricio Dubon, who continues to slug with runners in scoring position.
There aren't going to be many games where you don't get much of anything from that top third of the Astros order, but the fact that the middle and the bottom can produce so much makes them a really good team when everything's going right. And Mauricio Dubon, just since he's taken on more at-bats here recently and kind of been an everyday player at a bunch of different spots, just he knows himself so well that he's not trying to do too much anymore. He knows that he can put the bat on the ball. He knows that he can live with the results of a hard hit ball the other way.
What is it about a guy like Mauricio Dubon? Because now all of a sudden he's just become a different player over these we saw it all last season. He had been kind of a added piece type of a player before that. But right now, you're talking about a guy that's the best hitter with runners in scoring position in all of baseball. It's legit. It's a big enough sample size right now. Mauricio Dubon's a very good player.
Well, last year by default, he got to play every day from the beginning of the season. And sometimes that helps you find yourself getting at-bats constantly, being in there, knowing you're going to be there and knowing you're going to play. And he ran with that. And, you know, sometimes in the big leagues, it takes a couple years to find yourself and find where you get comfortable. And he's definitely got comfortable. And he just adds to that bottom of their lineup. Like they said, from 6 through 9 hitters, they had 8 hits, 4 RBIs, and 2 runs scored from the bottom from 6 through 9 hitters. So that to me, when your bottom lineup is hitting like that, it brings another spark to the
Think about how difficult it is, too, for a guy like Mauricio Dubon. He doesn't play every day. And when he does play, he's got to be thinking about, am I going to be playing third? Am I going to be playing center? Am I playing short? Am I going to be playing second? I mean, it may seem at first base before it's all said and done as well.
Well, and it helps that he has a set plan at the plate. Now, we talk about conviction in pitchers a lot, but you have to be convicted in your plan as a hitter. And for much of Mauricio Dubon's early career, he didn't really know what he was as a hitter. He was trying to add more power. He was trying to do a lot of different things. And now he knows what he is, so he knows what his objective is when he goes into the batter's box. And to have that plan every at-bat makes you a more confident hitter.
I think Jordan has helped him.
I think Jordan has helped him tremendously. And not only Jordan, I want to go back to what Dusty told me. Like he said, he made him understand that, look, you're not going to be a power hitter at this level every day. We don't need you to be that. We need you to be a baseball player, a hitter that's going to hit and make contact and drive runners in when we need you to drive them in. And that right there is what he was working on in BP, has carried over, and it shows up in the game now.
All right.
About the intensity and expectation and set the record straight with a big W for the Astros.
See the all-time win leaders list. He is approaching the top 40. Whatever number JV ends up with, whether it's 300 or just shy of 300 or over 300, maybe nobody beyond him is ever going to get to that total where he is right now.
Yeah, the game has changed quite a bit. Guys pitching later into ball games, and then all of a sudden the theory of regression analytics, and this guy has bucked all the trends, all the algorithms to go out there and collect W's. And I love the fact that he still thinks about going out and winning ball games, because if you have that mentality, you're going to get deep in ball games, and you're going to really try and compete to keep games close enough for your offense to go out there and win. So he's a little bit of a throwback in the new school, but it's great to have him out there in this rotation.
I know there was that one run allowed in the 9th inning, but when Joe Espada left camp this year, he was hoping to have a game with a lead and then go to Brian Abreu, Ryan Presley, and Josh Hader, and they were able to finish it off tonight.
Yeah, I know a little something about triplets, and I think Joe has his own version of triplets that he wants to go out there and perform, and today was actually an opportunity to be able to go out and do that. You had your ace on the mound, and then you had your number 1, 2, 3 coming out of that bullpen. It did work out extremely well. Still needs a little bit of refinement, but at the same time, the wins are wins right now. We'll take it.
Final thought, Blummer, it was a good win overall. We haven't talked about the offense.
Yeah.
Mackenzie Gore's a very good left-handed pitcher. They were able to get to him tonight and provide enough offense for the dub.
Yeah, another left-hander that had good numbers coming into this game, but I think some of these Astros do a good job against velocities, so they ramped it up a little bit, dialed up, and they found some pitches out over the zone that they could go get. But a couple of guys that are taking very good swings continue to take good swings. Yiner looked really good turning on a fastball early in the game, but Jeremy Pena knocking out 3 hits was a beautiful thing, too.
Big win tonight for the Astros, 5-3, the final score. Back to you guys.
All right, TK, thank you very much. Good win all the way around, way it played out. And now how much different it looks now. You've got Verlander pitching well today, and then you turn around, you've got Ronel Blanco on the mound tomorrow, then you've got Christian Javier. And all of a sudden, this starts to get the feel of what we are used to seeing following Astros baseball.
It's been such a grind for the first 20 games of the season. The schedule was tough, injuries were tough, and just been waiting for something positive to happen. Now you get Justin Verlander back. He looks great. You get a win in the style of play that you've been hoping for the entirety of this season. So all of a sudden it looks like the morale can be boosted a little bit and maybe go on a little run.
You know, as analysts, as everybody outside that locker room, it seems like a lot going on. But for them, you know, they know what they have in that locker room. And that's the ones that really believe, and they know, like, hey, look, once we get things going, we know we can be okay. You don't see a lot of panic in them. You don't see them really just worrying about things and doing this and doing that. They're still not even clicking like they really can click. So as time goes on, we're going to see the real Houston.
Well, Justin Verlander tonight, another 4 strikeouts. The fact is he was so very, very efficient in this game. Among the all-time strikeout leaders, moves past Phil Niekro, came into this season and tonight's game tied with the Hall of Famer Phil Niekro, now 12th on the all-time strikeout list. His efficiency, his command, there was so many. He was so sharp, and I would think that that's the thing that you would be most concerned about when you haven't pitched to a ton of live hitters. Is how sharp you would be, and he was very sharp in this game.
Yeah, you're worried coming in this early in the season for Justin Verlander. Is he going to be able to find the fastball command, or the breaking ball is going to be inconsistent? But everything pretty much ended up where he wanted to be. So moving forward, you know, it's probably only going to get better for him. So it's very encouraging first start.
Yeah, I mean, he knows how to pitch. You know, it's like he didn't lean on just strikeouts tonight. He had 4 strikeouts tonight, which is not a lot for him, and he's been a power pitcher over his career. But he knows how to throw pitches and knows how to get contact, weak contact from certain hitters. And this national lineup was, to me, probably the perfect lineup to go against. Don't have a strong depth in their lineup. Don't have a lengthy lineup. 2 or 3 people can really do some damage. And really, the bottom of the lineup did most of the damage.
Because he's willing to challenge them.
Exactly.
He knows he's got 80 pitches to work with. You get to the 8-9 hitters, you go ahead and feed them some fastballs. Guys hit them sometimes.
I'll take 4 punch-outs when you're averaging 12 pitches an inning.
Yeah.
Oh, no doubt. 100%.
That's basically what it played out as tonight. All right, it's interesting to hear what Justin Verlander has to say about his performance tonight. Let's head to the Astros clubhouse.
To be first start, just command, and the way it all kind of went for you today?
Yeah, I mean, pleasantly surprised, honestly. You know, kind of tried to cram spring training into 3 starts, and you know, control wasn't quite what I would have liked. The rehab starts, and then was, you know, just looking at mechanics and trying to find, you know, something to make it click. And you know, I think what I worked on between last start and this start, just being a little more directional, and it really kind of, I noticed it in my bullpen the other day and felt good, and so I was like, all right, I think that might be it. Carried it over to today and was able to make some pitches.
What do you think just of the quality of your stuff overall?
It was okay. You know, I think would have liked to see the slider be a little bit sharper. I thought the changeup got some good results. Specifically speaking, like how the hitters reacted to it. You know, fastball had decent life on it. And like I said, located it well. And curveball got some big outs as well. So overall, I'm pretty pleased.
Is that pickoff play just a daylight play and instinct, or what's that?
Just an instinct. It's a crafty old vet. Trying to get out any way you can.
When you said cram spring training into 3 starts, I mean, did this still in some ways feel like you were? Are you including this start in that? Like, did you feel like you were still working through?
No. You cannot. No. Once the bell rings, that's not. Yeah, you're just trying to get outs. You know, in rehab starts or spring training starts, you're working on stuff, trying to find your rhythm, trying to find, you know, whatever it is, make it click, feel like you can throw the ball where you want, execute pitches, be deceptive. It's kind of what you're searching for. So, you know, I've been working on a lot. When I say I kind of crammed it into 3 starts, you know, usually have 5 or 6 even, sometimes in spring. So you don't need to work on a ton of things. You can kind of like trial and error 1 or so things at a time. You know, when you don't have as many starts, you got to try to find it a little bit quicker. So I've been thinking about a lot of things mechanically, and thankful that I was able to execute today.
Joe had said that you'd probably be between 80 and 85 pitches. Did that impact at all just kind of the way you approach the lineup?
No.
What's your relationship like with Diaz? I mean, he was, 6 years old when you made your big league debut, and, you know, what's your relationship like throwing him out? I
mean, this was my first time throwing to him, so, you know, just a budding relationship, if you will. You know, I think he's been fantastic. I see the work he puts in behind the scenes, and how much he cares. And I think as a pitcher, I think one of the biggest things is you see catchers who have the natural ability to hit, but you also want them to care about you out there pitching and the success of the team and the success of the starting pitchers or the pitchers in general. And he has that, even though he's young. And that's something that you can't really teach, and it means a lot to us.
With runners in scoring position, it's been a lot of balls on the ground. If you can just fight to pull your hands in a little bit, even a soft line drive has a better chance of finding a hole. You know, you might say it's lucky, but if you can consistently do it, it's not luck.
But the same thing, too, is the flip side of that is we have seen opponents be able to do that. We have seen a lot of soft contact, a lot of things like that, just finding open grass. And I'm not taking anything against it, nothing against doing that. We saw it work in the Astros' favor too.
Well, and why has Mauricio Dubon been such a good hitter with runners in scoring position so far this year? Because he puts the ball in play every time he's up there.
Well, you know, everybody wants to talk about the exit velocity, but you know, you have to make contact. And like you said, it's been happening to us. But tonight we got the bleeder from Kyle Tucker down. That's a double. Yeah. That helps the slugging percentage. It wasn't hit hard. You know, then RBI from Chas McCormick. Not hit hard, but he got an RBI. It works in different ways, and you get to stack up the categories in different ways by putting the ball in play.
Yeah, I'm guessing Kyle Tucker's 72-mile-an-hour double.
Give it to me. I would never complain about it.
Take every one of them.
Every last one of them.
Over 109-mile-an-hour line drive right at the
I'll give you a quote. Lance Berkman once told me, you want to hit 300, use the whole bat, Michael.
There you go. The whole bat.
The whole bat.
It's all solid. All right, some parts of it more solid than others. Let's head back to the Astros clubhouse. Here's Yainer Diaz.
¿Qué tan bueno tuvo Verlander hoy, regresando hoy su primera salida?
No, o sea, excelente, ejecutando su picheo, siguiendo el plan que tuvimos y, como te digo, eso es algo que uno está acostumbrado a ver en él.
You know, I think excellent. Obviously, he was executing his pitches and following the plan that we had, and you know, this is something that we're accustomed to seeing from him.
How was the curveball tonight? It seems like he was able to get a couple of called strikes on that as well.
¿Cómo tuvo la curva hoy? Se vio que pudiste conseguir varios strikes ahí.
Sí, no, excelente, su curva estaba excelente, prácticamente todo su picheo, él lo estaba ejecutando en la localización que él quería, pero lo que quizás se destacó un poco más quizás fue la curva, pero yo entiendo que todos los picheos lo estaba ejecutando.
Yeah, excellent. I think all his pitches were working. Obviously, he was able to execute the curveball wherever he wanted to, but you know, I thought all his pitches were very good today. Maybe that was the one that stood out a little bit, but you know, all his pitches were great.
The pickoff play in the third inning, was that something that was either called between the two of you, or was that just something where he decided to wheel it up?
El pick-off en la tercera entrada, ¿eso fue algo que ustedes quedaron entre ustedes dos o eso fue algo que él hizo él solo porque vio el corredor?
No, sí, son reacciones del juego. Tú sabes que él es un pitcher muy veterano que ha pasado por esa situación millones de veces y reaccionó de esa manera.
I think it was a reaction happening in the middle of the game. Obviously, he's a very veteran pitcher. He's been in those situations before. He's seen that before. So he was able to react that way and was able to get him.
What did you think of just your guys' bats with runners in scoring position?
¿Qué te piensas de los turnos que tuvimos nosotros en el bate con corredor en posición anotadora?
No, excelente. Nosotros como equipo tratamos de mejorar cada día y o sea, son cosas que cuando tenemos ando en base a veces quizá el resultado no sale, pero el propósito siempre trae la carrera, tú sabes, y van a haber días que no van a salir, pero van a haber días que sí van a salir, como fue hoy.
Yeah, I think excellent. Obviously, as a team, we try to improve every single day at the plate. And, you know, like I said, at bat, we go out there, since we don't get the results that we want. Obviously, we go out there with a single purpose, or is just try to get that runner to score. You know, sometimes don't get the results that we want, how we have in the past, but today we were able to get the results we wanted.
I love what Verlander said, because this is something you and I, Bogey, have talked about before, is that, you know, players hear what people are talking about. What people were talking about, Martin Maldonado handling pitching staffs. I think Yainer Diaz took that as a challenge and said, you know, it's just to say, wait, I can handle a pitching staff too. It's something I think he took a lot of pride in.
You want to prove yourself as a major league player, and that is offensively, but that also goes on defense as well, and you have to prove that you're willing to put in the work. You have to prove that you care about that side of the ball as well, and Yainer Diaz has shown that this year.
Oh, yes, and you know, all great catchers, what they're really known for is how they control the pitching staff and how they'll be able to take leadership of the field, because you're the captain next to the coach. You have to be able to go out there and settle them down when he needs to be settled down. And like you said, he takes pride in doing it. Like Verlander said, we all know he can hit, but he wants to be that complete catcher, and I think he's on his way to doing that.
All right, good night tonight for the Astros. Good night for Chas McCormick.
Happy birthday, Chas.
Yep, turned 29, drove in a couple runs, had a couple of hits, and he did it, you know, well, down the road from his hometown of Philadelphia, not too far away, so I'm guessing he had a lot of friends and family there tonight in D.C. Let's head back to the Astros clubhouse.
I mean, Diaz did a great job. Pena obviously did really well today. You know, I came up in the second inning, got RBI in. I thought we executed today, and and I'm just happy. I'm happy we were able to win today.
Sort of impact did it have just after winning back?
Yeah, it's big. It's big. I mean, he talked to us after the series against Atlanta that we just need to turn it up a little bit, and obviously him pitching tonight, and knowing how he is out there and knowing how bad he wants it, it's huge for us, to play behind him and be locked in every single pitch, and it just gives us a little more juice when he's out there, and obviously we should have juice every single game, but there's something about him that really gets us rolling.
What was the tenor of just kind of his message?
We just got to turn it up a little bit. We just got to play better. About it.
Was that in the clubhouse, on the plane?
It was just after the game. After the game against Atlanta. Yeah. Yeah.
What does it mean for the offense? I know it's just one game, but you have 5 guys with 2 or more hits. Can that get you kind of sparked a little bit?
Yeah, it can get us going. I mean, we know what we're capable of. We know what this offense can do. We have a really good lineup. And I just hope this win can get us kind of rolling. That's kind of what I'm looking at.
Thanks.
speed limit enforcement of 100 kilometers ahead of about 400 meters. It is a speed limit enforcement of 100 kilometers ahead of about 200 meters.